Hello, I'm Beth. This is my first ever YouTube video and hopefully the first of many. My plan is that I'm hoping to talk a lot more about the current ascension process that's going across the planet at the moment, and also very much I work a lot with crystal skulls and with connecting with the star nations, so I do a lot of psychic and channeling work. There's a lot of changes going on the planet at the moment. We have, like, say, the coronavirus situation where we're being in lockdown and having to make a lot of changes. We're finding new ways of communicating. We're finding new ways of working together and doing things. At least most of us are trying to work together. Some people are doing their own thing, but hey, that's another matter. I've been, I've been a psychic reader and healer for quite a few years now. I've originally went professional in 2007, but I mean, that's another thing. As it is, I thought I'd introduce you to some of my skulls, which are here. First one, this is Queen Lyra, extremely beautiful. She is, let me show you, here we are, look, there we are. Look at her head. Now, she is quartz with lepidolite and pink tourmaline. When I work with her, obviously I form the connection and tune in. She connects me very much with the Lyran star system, so with Lyra and the Lyran star system. And a lot of information I've received from them has been very, very interesting about the changing frequencies on this planet at the moment, communication, and with things like hive minds and various other extraterrestrial interesting things. So I'm going to be doing a lot more work with her. We also have my beautiful Bembo here. Now Bembo, interestingly enough, I looked up his name the other day. Let me just show you first. He is really, really beautiful. He's a golden healer. Look at his lovely head. It's like marmalade. Here he is. There we go. Very, very beautiful. Reminds me of ancient Egypt and with the shifting sand. He's a bit like a mummy with his little bandage across his eyes. But he's lovely. He channels the golden ray. And that's very much to do with the current ascension process and the golden energies coming in, which is bringing us up to a new frequency level. Bembo, I actually googled his name a few days ago to find out more about what that actually meant. I thought it was just a name that I'd made up, or I basically heard from a pub. But actually it has very much has a real name to it. It's an ancient Anglo-Saxon name which means archer, which I was totally fascinated by. Anyway, in the meantime, that's my beautiful Bembo. With all of these, I do quite a lot of channeling work and bring through messages for the moment and for all of us, for humanity, as the changes happen. I also have some mandalas which I've created here to help connect me with the star nations. Now, as we ascend, as we go through the ascension process, our energy frequency is changing. It's going up a lot more. We're changing spiritually, we're changing in all different ways. Our physical bodies are changing, our energies are changing, our vibrations are changing, everything's changing, which is why everything seems so strange at the moment. But as we do this, we're becoming much more ourselves, we're letting go of things which are holding us back, we're finding a new way of being. And this is the golden age. Now, I've produced some mandalas here, which helps me to connect with the different star nations. Because what's happened is as our energy frequencies have increased, some of us and more people are being able to connect directly with the great star nations. Star nations have always been here. What's happened really with humanity is that humanity has basically fallen away from the ability to connect. We always used to be able to connect, you know, way back in history. But what's happened is now, as we're ascending and our frequency levels are going up, we are starting to be able to connect again with the great star nations. And when I mean the star nations, I mean star nations like the Pleiades, the Sirius star systems, Lyra, Andromeda, all sorts of different ones here. Let's have a look. I'm going to show you some of these I've produced. Now, these, the actual mandalas themselves, the patterns are produced by an artist, okay, a lady called Lydia Hess. What I've done is I've chosen mandalas which suit the energetic frequencies of the different systems, and then I've channeled the colours, coloured them in basically. But it does help with me to form like a portal so that I can connect directly with the star nations. So with this one, this is Andromeda. Sorry about the light shining on it. Very beautiful. The Andromedans are very natural, they're very technical, amazing technology, very, very interesting. The green is their connection with nature, the very natural base connected with nature and the natural world. We have this one, which is the Sirius star system. You can see that. Now, the Sirius star system, nuisance about the light, isn't it? That's it. Are the water planets. So you've got Sirius A, Sirius B, and various other ones. It's not just one planet. You've got several different planets up there, so it's a star system. And different creatures, and this is where they feel, or where they know, basically, the whales and the dolphins originated. So that's there. This is Arcturus. Right, let's say, watch that light shining on. Arcturus. Now, the Arcturians are very, very advanced. They're thought to be some of the most advanced beings or star nations in the universe. Very technologically based. They don't necessarily like to, they communicate, but they like to keep their energies quite separate in some ways to many of the others. The Antarians, which I'll talk about in a minute, tend to like to mix with everyone. But the Arcturians tend to like to keep to themselves, but share their knowledge, so they keep their knowledge pure. But I will discuss that later in another video. This is Lyra. I usually actually use it that way up because it feels more energetically correct. Lyra is thought to be one of our forerunners to the humans. One of the closest of the forerunners to the humans. So with them, they're very playful, very fun-loving, very advanced. All of the star nations that I'm talking about here, very advanced. All right, so, you know, spiritually, communication-wise, they are much more advanced than humans. But then humans, we're getting back up there again now, so we're able to communicate like we used to be able to. This is the Pleiades, the Pleiadian star system. Now the Pleiades, or the Pleiadians, are quite well known. They're usually very eccentric, powerful healers. But again, I will be talking about them more at a later date. And here we have the Antarians. So these ones, let me have a look. Let me show you these. Can you see? There we go. All right, lovely. Now that's more to do with the Antarians are the shapeshifters and the explorers of the universe. So what they tend to do is they tend to go to different planets. They tend to take on, they like learning, they like people, they like beings. So they can often take on the images or the physical forms of animals and people or any beings. I mean, we assume that beings on other planets look like a dolphin, a whale or a human, but they can take on all sorts of energy forms. Some beings on other planets are just energies. And they don't have a physical form. So, but they do have intelligence, which is so interesting. But I'm going to be talking all about this again in more detail later. So these are the Antarians. Very, very interesting. Okay, now I didn't want this to be too long this time. It's purely an introduction to what I do. So please do, if you'd like to learn more, subscribe to my channel here. And I look forward to speaking to you again very soon. Bye.